This is a Sunday morning talk given by Dr. Haridas Chaudhuri, philosopher, educator, and spiritual leader. He was founder of the California Institute of Integral Studies and the Cultural Integration Fellowship of San Francisco. The title of his talk is Integral Education and World Peace.
All of us nowadays, all those who think about the world situation and the leaders of thought and the leaders of nations and peoples of the world are deeply convinced that we stand today at the crossroads of history, in a critical juncture, should I say, of the process of evolution and the historical march. It is the kind of epoch, moment in history when it seems that mankind is confronted with one choice, one alternative: unite or perish, peace or destruction. There is no such thing anymore in the world in which we live, that mankind can be divided into two exclusive segments, as it were, so that the fortune of one will not affect the fortune of the other. We live in a world of shrinking dimensions, as it is said. The different races, peoples of different cultural, religious, racial backgrounds have come together. So as Alfred North Whitehead used to say, either we swim together or sink together. That is the kind of situation in which we are in. So therefore, all those who think about our present-day human situation are convinced that global peace is not only a pious wish, it is a vital necessity for the very survival of the human race, for the very survival of civilization as we know it today. But the question, which is of paramount importance, is what can we do about it? Everybody feels the need for peace. Every great leader talks about it, proclaims its vital importance. But then we find that even though on a higher level, on the intellectual level, we are very, very convinced about it, and we talk about it and make pledges, but in our actual behavior pattern, our day-to-day activities, dealing with fellow beings, with other peoples, other races, other nations, strangely, we seem to act paradoxically, showing a yawning chasm, an unbridgeable gulf between our profession and practice. What is the reason? And what can be done about it? You know, this is really the crux of the whole situation, of the whole crisis that confronts us today. So it is with regard to this matter that I would like to say a word. Many people feel, and very rightly, that education plays a very vital role, not only in our ways of thinking, in our outlook on life, in our sense of values. It also plays a vital role in our, and should more and more play a vital role in our actual behavior, our behavior pattern. So when you think about that, the role of education in our human life, in our conduct, in our relations with one another, we immediately, of course, feel that there is a great need today for an overhaul of the entire educational system in different countries of the world. And most probably, it is a kind of vague, intuitive feeling of this vital need, which is at the root of widespread turmoil and disturbances in the university and college campuses, besides other reasons. See, perhaps this is one of the reasons that there is a great need for very radical and vital changes in the whole educational structure the world over, which perhaps is one explanation of this widespread youth unrest, and also widespread unrest among the intelligentsia in the different countries of the world. So I should like to say a word in this connection about what is called integral education. Education of the whole man, different thought leaders are thinking along these lines. Some may express it in slightly different way, but this is one direction in which I think that the thoughts of the foremost leaders of the world today are flowing. How we can change our educational system in order to emphasize this concept, education of the whole man. Because the educational system as it operates today, we find, does not take into account the whole man. Nor does it take into account the whole world. You see, neither global consciousness nor the integral man as a whole, in the wholeness of his being, in his full integrity, in the multidimensional richness of his total existence, which are very supreme truths about the world situation and also the existence of man. So we find that these concepts do not go into the educational training. Whatever else that might be there. These are certainly not the concepts which determine the educational policy or the educational planning of the different institutions today. So this is called integral education. That unless we go to the root of the problem and find out what are the fundamental ideas which are responsible for the educational structure as we see it today, and unless we make changes there, the most desirable changes in human life cannot be brought about. So this is the meaning of integral education. Educate the man. And education which is based upon the context of the total human situation, namely the global situation. Man existing all over the world, man, you see, regardless of all kinds of differences that we superficially observe among man and man, racial differences, religious differences, creedal differences, ideological differences, socio-political differences, and all that. See? So, lifting our vision above all these superficial differences, when we look at man as man, you see, this is the idea of the total man.